Alright, let's do it. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. It's currently that annoying time of the day and annoying time of the year where I get home from work and my window is like right next to where my computer is, kind of how I'm sitting. And I did that on purpose because I like to look out the window while I'm sitting around here, right? But there's always a certain time of year where as soon as I get in, it means that the sun is glowing right through and really harshly into my eyes through the window. So pretty much I have to draw the curtains immediately. So I'm sitting in a nice dark room. Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm going to try and make sure my audio doesn't clip over the sound level again, because all last episode, did you guys notice that? It was like really loud and clipping over. I wasn't particularly holding the microphone a little closer to my mouth. Anyway, so let's continue on. Oh no, I was actually going to start this video with something new for us to see. Ooh, how should we do this? Yeah, we're going to go out into Buckdeck Byway. Actually, I was going to start... This is how bad I am. I was going to start when we got there, but it's a very, very small little thing here. So, when I got in just before I started filming this, I've been aware of the dialogue things that are in Winds of Change before, and I've read all of them. In fact, actually, I think some more might have been added with Part 3, which I haven't read, which is quite interesting. Oh, hold on, that isn't the right dialogue. I'm sure that's not the right dialogue. Wait. What's he talking about? What's he talking about? That can't be right. Let's go into hard mode. The thing is, I've got to watch out, because as you complete the chapters, right, and more quests, it will trigger more dialogue for you to read, but that dialogue could be spoilers for later stuff going on, because I've already completed it in normal mode, you see. So if I go into areas in normal mode, it could, like, give me spoilers, so I need to remember to be in hard mode when I go out, if that makes sense. So, yeah, anyway, I think there's some... Wow, look, even more people are here. What's going on? This isn't dialogue I remember. Alright, well, we'll look at this one. So, these guys are saying, justice, we want justice, we demand answers. And the guard says, everyone needs to calm down. We assure you the city's safe. You have nothing to fear. Nothing to fear? Those feathered beasts are murdering their way through Kaining Sentian. You say we have nothing to fear? Yeah, that was really spoilery. That, like, had massive spoilers for, like, part 2 to do with the Tengu. What are we going to do then? Shit, that doesn't work. Okay, so basically what happened, to be able to play it in hard mode, you have to complete it in normal mode, right? Which means that now it seems like it's changed the world to a state where lots of dialogue is going to start happening, despite the fact that I shouldn't really be seeing it just yet. So, I don't know, guys. I'm going to have to look into this after the episode, and we'll start looking at some of the dialogues. But basically, what happens with it is, and I wasn't 100% clear that this was how things were going, but, oh, hold on, let's start the quest before I start rambling. Come on, hey Zayri, hey buddy, how's it going? You know, you want to go on another adventure with us? He says, this is it, the last sighting of the afflicted within Kaining City. Ah, hooray! Until now, you've helped me fight, while the Ministry has continued the battle on other fronts. It seems that the afflicted aren't returning. So, tell me, friend, how does it feel, knowing that you're making a difference in the world? Well, I guess that's a moot question to be asking you. You must be used to that sort of thing by now. See, I'm sure this is a tongue-in-cheek reference. I really am sure, because no, we're not really used to it. It is very cool that we're killing these guys for the last time, and when we go back into the explorables, they're going to be clean. That's brilliant. The final afflicted were seen in Sunjiang district. Will you help me send those unfortunate souls to the mist? We've come this far, let's see it through. Is it just the same every single time? Or actually this time is far enough. No, let's do it. Yeah, they're a little bit cruel, actually, the writers, with this dialogue, because you see how he's like, oh, this is the final thing that we're seeing here, these are the final afflicted. That kind of line comes up a lot, like, really often. He will keep saying stuff like, oh, hey, yeah, this is the final thing, this is the final, this is the final, this is the final. It really does lose all meaning pretty quickly. Also, that little jump cut I just did there is because, again, there's another spoiler. I just spoke to Zayri, and like the final dialogue, when you complete the story in normal mode, it changes its dialogue there to say something to you, which is a massive spoiler for kind of the end, and that's triggering as well. Oh, this is going to be a minefield. This really is going to be pretty bad playing through all this. See, I think at least the developers have had the decency to, while you're in an explorable area, completing the quest while it's like in progress. It seems like they're being alright about it, and they're kind of saying, right, well, we won't trigger any dialogues, but if I go back to areas that we're kind of not supposed to be in, we might be seeing a lot of random stuff going on. I'm going to have to do a bit of research on that, guys. Hopefully I'll remember to do it. I also want to get rid of Dunkora. I keep forgetting to do that. But yeah, what I kind of learned, what I was originally trying to say was, I've always known about the dialogues, and indeed I did read them when they first came out. But what I kind of learned reading the wiki just now before coming on to film this episode, is that it's actually designed so that when you complete a quest, say this quest here, when you've completed one of these cleansing quests, then you can go back into the area once it's clean, and then you get the new dialogue there, which really is even worse actually. I criticise Winds of Change for sort of putting all these, well yeah, no, I do criticise it. In some ways I guess you can see it as a good thing that a lot of these dialogues are off the beaten path, but I actually do criticise it because that's really good content that no players are really going to see, and I think it's a shame that people aren't going to be able to see that. So it's actually really bad in that regard that they've done it. You can only see it if you go back to an area after you've completed the quest, so there's no reason at all. I feel like they would have done better just putting their resources into integrating like all of those dialogues into the actual main storyline, so it fleshes out the characters a bit more. I mean, we're going to get to know Zayri a bit more, as I said, but there's still a lot of what he has to say to us is just generic bollocks, really. So it'd be nice if that dialogue, really, that they've spent all that effort making, that a lot of people are going to miss, was instead incorporated into everything. I think that would be quite cool anyway. But yeah, so what's really going on? Loads of people talked about the collector's edition. I actually found out some stuff, actually, which is quite worrying. I mentioned last episode the hero band that you get in the collector's edition, and I said, oh, I'm sure people will complain that you can buy power with that. And then some people left some comments. You guys left some comments. It's actually much worse than that. There's a whole elite skill you can get from like pre-purchasing the game. I'm not sure if that's just like buying the collector's edition or only from pre-purchasing. If you can only get the elite skill from pre-purchasing, as in if you don't do it early enough, that's content that you will never have access to in the game later. I think that's much worse. I mean, I spoke to Magical Mike about it, and he was like, oh, it doesn't sound like it's a very good elite skill. But then I kind of do think, well, that's just a description on the website of the skill, and you know, there could be all kinds of different balance changes as the game's lifespan goes on that make it super powerful or super necessary for a lot of players, which is going to suck if that ends up being the case. So I'm not going to put too much into, oh, it doesn't sound like it's that good, because the description's just a description. It could have any measure of significance actually in the game. So that's quite bad, I think. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that. That seems a bit off, because if they're willing to do that, I kind of have to question it and say, well, are they willing to put in elite skill? Is it even an elite skill, or it is an elite skill, isn't it? It's really bad. I mean, then are they going to start selling elite skills in the cash shop? I mean, why not, if they've done it for that? I mean, and that's, I think, is maybe crossing a line. What I actually would prefer, I remember ages ago putting forward this idea. It's just a stupid little idea. If they want to do stuff like that, why not have like skill skins? So like you would buy an elite skill skin. So say you're an elementalist, right? Or not even an elite skill skin, just any skill, right? So you're an elementalist, you've got a staff, right? If you guys are familiar with the game, skill 5 on the staff as an elementalist is Meteor Shower, right? This big channeled ability. If you've seen it in Guild Wars 1, you'll know pretty much what it's like, and it just slams all these meters down on location. If people want, go to the cash shop, let them buy a skin for that changes the meteors from being kind of these yellow orbs to, you know, black orbs or whatever, you know, make it higher quality, make it look like real meteors, make there be more meteors, even though, you know, so it doesn't have a statistical change. It's literally just a cosmetic thing, which is in line with what they've always said they wanted to do with a cash shop. And there's all kinds of variety. There's countless stuff, you know. For every skill you could have multiple different skins, which would be really cool. Obviously they can't be too significantly different. I already think that the game's got a bit of a problem with the skill effects being too big. In fact, that PvP video I did, there was a whole paragraph in the PvP video that I ended up cutting out, where I talked about, in my opinion, really, that the only thing I've got, I mentioned a topic that was vaguely similar to this, and my main problem really with PvP at the moment, one of them is the skill effects. My god, and I've been saying this from the start, they are too big. You know, if you want it to be an esport, if you want people to be able to watch it and it to be something fun to watch as a spectator, especially for players who might not necessarily have played the game extensively or have a massive knowledge of the mechanics, the skill effects are not helping that. They are so big. All of them are so big and so identifiable and distinguished that it just becomes a massive clusterfuck of chaos that you just can't see anything in the fights. You know, for it to be spectator friendly, people are going to have to be able to point out when someone's used an elite skill or when a particular key skill has been used in each fight, and we're not seeing that at the moment. We're really not. It's too hard to identify those things in the chaos of everything that's coming out, which is a bit of a shame, really, because that's kind of counterintuitive for ArenaNet, because they've kind of stepped themselves in it. They've done exactly what they didn't want to do, because they're making the skills all big and have these massive effects so that it becomes a more visual game and more fun to watch, but they've done it with everything that now it's become a problem. you know, they could leave skills like Meteor Shower with those big flashy effects, but I would say then tone down like skill 1 on all the professions. You know, as an elementalist in fire attunement, say, every time you like slash your wand at people, like there's a huge explosion of fire all over the place. It's too much. I do think it's too much. So they, with that in mind, I think really they could then sell skill skins that, yes, might be a little bit more dramatic, but they'd have to be careful because it could very quickly become, oh god, what skill is that? Especially if every single skill has got like 3 different versions to it and they all look ridiculously different. Like maybe one version of Meteor Shower doesn't look like a meteor shower at all anymore. It looks like something that you've conjured on the floor, like a swirling vortex. You know, if they looked really different like that, then it would cause problems. But I think if generally the skills look kind of the same, just maybe had a different colour to them, people would buy that. You know, you might be listening to me and be like, oh, that's so stupid, why would anyone want to buy that? That's a waste of money. You know, and I probably wouldn't buy it myself either, but that's the kind of thing people enjoy. It's something that makes you look distinct, doesn't it, in the game? So yeah, I mean, my suggestion would be, I'm not too happy about the elite skill in the collector's edition or the pre-purchase. I think that they should just give you like a skill skin, like be like, okay, look, this will change your, like a single racial ability, depending on what race you are, you get one of those racial abilities, they'll assign it, will now look slightly different if you're using it. There you go. I mean, I don't see any downsides to that, do you guys? But yeah, I mean, the hero band I'm not too fussed about, and yeah, really the rest of the collector's edition, it just all looks quite cool. Yeah, we've been screwed over by price. I had a lot of comments of people going, yeah, why have we been screwed over? We have been screwed over by price, but hey, I guess I've come to expect it now. I really have. With so many games, it just happens all the time. Why the hell are there Shirokin here? Have we finished the quest? No, we haven't finished the quest. Where are we supposed to be going? Am I in the wrong place? Oh no, this must be the last fight. Yeah, the Shirokin are here because if you guys remember, this explorable area, when you first come here in the storyline, you can't actually come into this section of the explorable area because that's designated for this mission. And then once you've completed the Sunjiang district, you can then come and explore and fight all the Shirokin here, which is quite cool. And because I wasn't fighting the look at the map, I died for it, which makes sense. But yeah, Winds of Change generally won't make you fight Shirokin. This is an interesting thing, actually. The story assumes that the Afflicted are still about. At least Part 1 will assume that. I mean, we're wiping them out. That's kind of what Part 1's about. But it does assume from the off... Come on, Death... Oh, shit. He killed me. But it does assume from the off that as soon as you defeated Shiro, all of these Shirokin die as well. These guys aren't part of the quest. They're not. They don't have updated skills or anything like that. In fact, this is the first time I've ever been playing Winds of Change, and these guys have come into it, which is weird because maybe they missed an opportunity there. I think it would have been quite cool if you found out that the reason why a lot of the Afflicted was still about was because there was one last bit of the Shirokin around. But there's all this really interesting lore about the Celestial Ministry and stuff. And do you remember Elder Soon, I think it was? Actually, one of the characters that you barely see actually in-game, but in the lore, in this big article I talked about, last episode I was talking about, wasn't it? In that, it kind of puts him up as this really important character, like in the story, and in the final cutscene of Factions, you can see him there in the Celestial Ministry, and it's like, oh, which is really awesome, but I think he's got something to do with the Soul Stones and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, let's read out Zayre's stuff. And our stuff as well. So for this quest, he said, "Ooh, I can't scroll up too far because there's those spoilers earlier of the Tengu. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So here, no higher than that. Higher than that is spoilers. So Zayre said, so many lives were lost to the Afflicted. Yet, no matter how large the number, it doesn't seem to have had much impact on me as an individual lost. Oh, this is where he's telling us his sub story, right? Okay. He says, my father was one of the casualties. There was a time as a younger man when I wished nothing more than for him to be gone. Looking back on that now." He was a strict man, my father. He was impossibly hard on me at times. I always thought he resented me. Too late, I came to understand that was just his way of showing he cared for me. Every time I face the Afflicted, some part of me fears that my father might have become one of these abominations. How would I feel if I knew, I wonder? And then we say, how it ends is the important part. You would know that his soul was at rest. And he replies with, this is what we've been working towards. Let's finish this. It's hard to believe that they've finally gone from Kaineng City. I wonder if we'll receive a commendation from Minister Reiko. And then we say, is that who's in charge of the Ministry of Purity? He says, ah, that's right. You haven't had the chance to meet her yet, but she is indeed in charge. I can't wait to report the good news. Let's get going. Right, so we've got Reiko, right? She is in charge of the Ministry of Purity. There's actually a few really... Okay, there's a specific character in Winds of Change. It's very, very interesting that is also kind of in charge of the Ministry of Purity. We'll talk about it as we go through. But yeah, there you go, guys. Really, that's his backstory, really. He doesn't... It's weird. They throw that all on you on one mission and then give him generic crappy dialogue for the rest of the Winds of Change, which is weird for me because I kind of feel like they should have spread it out so we had a more of an attachment to him as a friend and we cared more about his story there. But that's kind of Zayre's story as far as I remember it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't say anything else past that. I was going to talk this episode about the channel and stuff. I made a thread on Guild Wars 2 Guru the other day. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. I'm probably going to do a lore post as well today, actually, so I guess I'll see you guys there if you want to watch that. And yeah, first let's get the quest reward. Zayre says, we've done it. It's been a hard-fought battle, but the city is safe now. However, our work isn't done yet. Some afflicted remain on the outskirts of the city, and there's rebuilding to be done. I feel like I should be talking to him head-on. We keep talking to him on the side. Because he keeps, like, most NPCs will turn and, like, face you, but he always faces forward again. He says, we must see to the injured and to the allies who fell along the way. But we shouldn't let those thoughts taint this moment. This is an important step forward. Take this. I hope that it serves as some compensation to you. Right, okay, brilliant. Right, so that's the next quest. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Dunkoro now and figure out what we're going to do with these dialogues. I can't believe there's spoilers going through like that. That's really annoying. Maybe if we just go to certain sections or something. Or maybe I could just wait till part 2 and then we could kind of have like a big long walk through of all the different dialogues. Would you guys mind that? I might end up doing that. That might be a little bit more fun. I'm not sure. If you guys really do mind that though, I will definitely try to like do some research and figure out how we can find all that stuff without having spoilers around. But yeah, in any case guys, I will see you on the lore video if you choose to watch it. If not, have a wonderful day guys, and I will see you tomorrow.